Hi, this video is about, is white slash European extinction real? I'm going to prove to you that it is real, and I'm going to give this a little time. I want to think about what I'm doing here. So let this music play a little bit. We are listening to DJ Kent. He's a DJ out of South Africa, plays a lot of diverse music, known throughout the world by both Africans and Europeans. So I kind of appreciate the diversity in his music. I use it as my background. So we're looking at the European population. This is a live meter. We are currently looking at 747,383,885. That number will change. It will show you how often that Europeans are having children. As right now, we're looking for the 5 to turn to a 6. I don't have it on a timer, but I predict that it takes between 40 seconds to a minute and a half, before Europe will have a birth. This is the same exact rate that they're having births in the United States. So when we start talking about population declines, usually they'll try to make it seem like they're talking about the entire population, but statistics shows that they're really talking about the European population. So that number changed to a 6. And here on the world meter, we can touch it. It is active, and it shows you that the European population throughout the years, as we could see the line increasing, that they are getting larger. And so let's get up to 20. Let me see if I could get it up to 2019. Well, 2018, that was the expected number. But as we could see, that number hasn't grown much. So then we come to the yearly population growth, which is the fertility birth rate. So this particular graph goes from 1950s through it starts from it says 1960 here. Usually they're going from 1950 to 2000. This one says 2010, but I think that's probably what we could see here from my cell phone. So as we could see, that went further back, and that's 1953. But we could see that there was a dip there from 1952. That line is steeping down. So there in 1952, 1951, that Europe had a fertility growth rate of 0.91. I will tell you right now that in order to maintain a population, the population must be 2.1 per woman or greater, meaning that every woman must have 2 children or more, preferably more. If you lose a child, you've replaced yourself and your mate. So that's what the birth rate is. So in 1955, they had only grown a little bit. Europe is at a 1%. And as we could see that the number is falling. And 1959, the number fell again from a 1%, which from that 90, it was a 90, probably a 97 when I first looked at it, or 91, 0.91%, but they're way below the 2.1%. So as we could see that Europe's population has had a steady decline. Year after year, the number is going down further. We are just about to drop below the 0.5 line, and that is in 1960. It dropped in 1960. Let's go back. Nope, that was not 1960. Around the 70s, 1977, it dropped at the 0.5 line. So their population rate back in 1977 is 0.5 when we need a 0.2%. And as time goes on, we see it steadily dropping below that 0.5 line right there. And in 1988, it was at 0.39%. In 1994, we're at 0.12%. And this is where the scary is starting to get scary, because we could see that the 0 line, we're heading towards the 0.0% line. So what does 0 mean? Think about that. What does 0.0% mean when it comes to the fertility rate and you dropping below that particular line? So in 1995, they've dropped to that 0.0 line. I might be a little off because that's where it dropped at, and we could see that that is at 0.0. So in 1996, we're still on the 0 line. But in 1997, the European population has dropped and below the extinction line, 0.05% in 1997. In 1998, the yearly growth rate is I said 0.05. It is minus 0.05. We're below the line. Now we see that it's minus 0.07 in 1998. In 1999, let's see if I could get there, it is minus 0.06%. I'm sorry, Europe is in extinction mode already. These are the statistics. These are world statistics. This is the United Nations statistics. So we're going to look at year 2000. Year 2000, Europe is still below that 0.0 line and the minus 0.02%. That is 20 not even 20 years ago. We're approaching 20 years. So do you see where this is going? And the reason for this analysis in the year 2001, Europe had just come from up out of the extinction mode and are at 0.03%. As time goes on, they start to rise some, but notice that they've never gotten back up to the 1%. So this is the reason why the statistics show that Europe is going extinct. And I've jumped up and we're just at 0.18%, and that's in 2013. And then here in 2018, we're still at 0.13. 2019, let's see if I can get that to go there. At the current fertility rate, it is only 0.1%. And that is what I wanted to show you. I just posted a video and it showed the U.S. population. Also, that video spoke about breaking down Europeans, which are also known as white people in this part of the world, and breaking them down into their said countries and how they are represented in the country as citizens in percentage rates. What they have done is they have combined all of the Europeans, and what they have done with that is given them a false identity, calling themselves white. But as I've just showed you, that when you break it down, that white does not exist. White does not exist. They are Europeans. They come from several different countries, and their minority, their representation from their said countries, they're already minorities. But this particular fertility birth rate crisis has been going on for several years. It's just that we was not able to go and just get this information. But now that we are in the information age, we can see it. So here it compiles that this is the current population of Europe. It tells you what it is of today as this Monday, December 9th, 2019, based on the latest United Nations estimate that the Europe population is equivalent to 9.78% of the total world's population, and that Europe ranks number 3 amongst regions in the world, roughly equivalent to continents ordered by population. The highest population in the world is Asia. So Asia ranks number 1 in the world in the population. The second highest population in the world is Africa. Africans have a higher population in the United States as far as U.S. citizens, because Native Indians, Native Americans are not really considered as, are grandfathered in as U.S. citizens, or, so that has something to do with also that population count. But when we talk about the U.S. citizen, U.S. European citizens, Europe African citizens, and the U.S. Mexican American citizen, Mexico is sitting right next to the United States on the same landmass. So we would expect to have a high population of Mexicans. Although we do, their populations are still not as high in numbers and representation as the African American population. The African American population is often tried to be written off, to write us off as minorities. But we are actually the majority ethnic group that is residing in the United States. And don't think that the politicians do not know this information. Most of Donald Trump's followers know this information. However, this information was piped in as being, instead of European extinction, it was being propagandized as white genocide. So this is where we get that movement from. So I'm just hoping that to educate people on what is really happening, that some of this hatred can, deflate, and hopefully that people can think of ways that they can build their populations without taking it out on other people. So anyway, peace and love. And I will go ahead and upload this video as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.